Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of UnPontificated. Today, we're going to look at some news that happened this past week. And here goes. What happened in the news? I mean, a lot happened, but I'm just going to look at a couple of stories that I think may have that you might be interested in. You can let me know if you're interested in these stories. Okay, item number one. Canadian home sales see surprise jump in October. Home sales activity recorded over Canadian MLS systems increased 7.7% on a month-over-month basis in October of 24, reaching its highest level since April of 2022. So, are we seeing a increase in like a change in home sales? Are we going to start seeing an increase in home sales month over month? What's November going to be like? Rising home sales activity was broad-based, with the Greater Toronto Area and British Columbia Lower Mainland recording double-digit increases in October. Why is that? These are the most expensive towns in Canada. Well, let's see what Sean Cathcart says. He's the CREA's senior economist, the Real Estate Association senior economist. The jump in home sales last month was definitely an October surprise, although with the big interest rate cut of 50 basis points announced during the last week of the month, the increase was more likely related to the surge in new listings we saw in September. There probably won't be another rush of supply like that until next spring, and at that point, mortgage rates should be close to the expected lows as well. With that in mind, you can think of the October numbers as a sort of preview for what we might expect to see next year. Well, Sean, that may be the case if the interest rates continue to drop. So in September, the interest rates did drop by 25 basis points to 4.25. And then in October, they dropped again by 50 basis points to 3.75. So definitely this is good news for those who have mortgages, especially if you have a variable mortgage. That will definitely help you decrease your monthly payments. But I think maybe it was people are optimistic. Maybe the increase in October was due to the surge in September, like Sean said, the increase of real estate of listings in September, and maybe the increase of real estate in September was due to the fact that the interest rates were coming down, and sellers thought it would be better to start selling now because buyers might be more interested in buying since interest rates are down. So who knows? I guess we'll see if the trend continues, but this may be good news. It's definitely for the real estate market if prices of those homes are also coming down, and if renting costs will also come down. But I guess we'll see. All right, what else is in the news? Stock up on butter and cheese. Stock up on your dairy products because they're getting stolen. Okay, butter prices have skyrocketed. Butter prices are high because the cost of the butter fat is also high. Sylvain Chalabois, the Agri-Food Analytic Lab Director, says the prices of butter, especially, have increased 40 to 50%. And the reason that they've increased 40 to 50%, the Canadian Dairy Commission, the CDC, Center for Disease Control. This is the Canadian Dairy Commission, a Crown cooperative corporation responsible for setting prices, increased the price of butter to account for the higher production costs. And these are the dairy farmers, of course, have higher production costs. And then, of course, the consumer is the one who gets hit. If you look at Stats Canada, the price of butter in September of 2019, a block was $3.90. In September of 24, a block is $5.49. Now, of course, if you go to the outlying places, you're in the $6.99, $7 range. So, of course, organized crime has seen an opportunity, and there's a demand for butter on the black market. Scott Tracy, he's a spokesperson for the Guelph Police Services, says he has seen advertisements on Facebook Marketplace for butter. I went in and looked myself. I did not see any. So maybe they've managed to get rid of that, at least on Facebook Marketplace. You may be able to see them on the dark web. Or if bakeries obviously are seeing a big hit, because I mean, you use 90% of their products, you use butter, according to this one bakery who I won't mention. But if someone comes to your bakery and says, here, I've got a slew of butter here for you. I'll sell it to you for $4 a block. You might be inclined to take them up on it, right? So who knows? Either way, I don't know if the prices are going to start coming down soon, but right now, check out this. Check out this. Let's see here. Check out what just got foiled in BC.
You know, we don't typically find people stealing $13,000 worth of cheese. So our officers were conducting proactive patrols at 4 a.m. and they observed a cart full of cheese just sitting in the laneway. They thought this was a little bit suspicious, so they got out to investigate. As they were trying to figure out what is going on, they observed a man coming out of a building, and as soon as he saw the police, he ran away. This was actually a break and enter in progress, and this man was about to steal almost $13,000 worth of cheese from Whole Foods. It doesn't happen quite often, to be honest. The whole situation, it's very odd. Unfortunately, the cheese did have to be thrown away or left the fridge. And so
butter, cheese, I think we want to see yogurt soon. If it's dairy, then there's a big chance that it's going to find its way to the deep, dark web. Hold on to your dairy products. All right, what else we got? What else we got in the news? Oh, we've got the Canada postal strike. Yeah, Canadian postal strike. The Canada Post is on strike. The story here says some 55,000 postal workers hit the picket lines across Canada. 55,000 postal workers. Do we really need that many? Hands up, how many of you have used Canada Post in the past month? Let's go with the past year. And how many times did you use them in the past year? Anyone? Anyone? Hands up. Let me know in the comments. Because for me, in the past year, once. Anyway, so on Friday, November 15th, Canada Post went on strike. This will impact delivery of mails and parcels. I know a lot of them will be using them. Thankfully, old age security checks will still be delivered, as well as CPP, veterans pensions, child assistance as well. Those will still be delivered. Yay. CUPW, the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, have been negotiating with the Crown Corporation for over a year with no agreement. The list of demands include wages aligned with inflation, enhancements to group benefits such as coverage for fertility treatments and gender-affirming care, protections against technological changes, more paid medical leave, paid meals and rest periods, and then higher short-term disability payments. Okay, hey, look, I'm for, the union wants to make some requests from the Crown Corporation, from the employer. Okay, go ahead. But a lot of these, I just disagree. When you say wages aligned with inflation, yes, inflation did go up. Canada's 10-year inflation over 10 years. And we did have, obviously, the COVID inflation spike. right? 8.1 January 2022. Then it started coming down. Right now, as of September 24, inflation is 1.6. Canada Post wants, the Cup W wants, actually, I don't have a list here of what they want, but what they've been offered is an 11.5% increase over 4 years. So that's almost 3% a year, which is higher than the average inflation on Canada's normal inflation, um, you know, because look, 2.4, we've gone down, 3% here in 2018, but in general, it's always about 2% or lower, right? Of course, COVID did this, but in general, Canada's inflation is lower than 2%. So getting 3% is does line up with inflation. In fact, a little bit higher than inflation. These anomalies, like we can't be doing things with anomalies. This is an anomaly. So I think they're asking for a lot. And when you say that you want coverage for fertility treatments and gender affirming care, most, depending where you live, most most public health insurance, like OHIP if you're in Ontario, or MSI if you're in Nova Scotia, cover fertility treatments and certain gender affirming cares. So they're covered by provincial governments. You don't need those covered by your group benefits, but I mean, if the group benefits want to cover it, Manulife wants to cover that, or Sun Life, and you want your company to pay for it, okay, but you're asking for a lot there. Protections against technological changes. Can you really fight with technology? Like a lot of these, I remember when the actors went on strike because a lot of technology was using GCI to, the images of the actors in some of the movies. And of course, they were fighting against that. And I have no problem with that. That makes sense to fight that. But technology is technology. And if companies are trying to save money, because look at Canada Post. Canada Post says they've lost $3 billion. Canada Post has lost $3 billion since 2018, with losses continuing to mount. If technology is going to save money, then you just got to do it. And I think one is technology. Use technology to sort mail. You don't need people in there sorting. And I really think 55,000 employees too much. I think that's a bloated government. I bet if you got Elon Musk in there, he'd cut that down in half, and there'd be no loss of services at all. 55,000. Anyway, Canada Post is on strike. We'll see how that's going to go. Supposedly, at least they're still at the bargaining table and we'll see how that goes. All right. And last but not least, on a kind of a happy note, Connor McDavid, hockey player, for those of you who know Connor McDavid, has reached 1,000 points in the NHL. Connor McDavid, the greatest hockey player in hockey today. He is the fourth fastest to do it, doing it in his 659th game. Wayne Gretzky did it in 424 games. And let's see, Mario Lemieux did it in 513. Then Mike Bossy did it in 656 games. Connor McDavid has done it in 659. Just to give you a bit of a perspective, Sidney Crosby, who I would say was the greatest hockey player prior to Connor McDavid, reached 1,000 points in 757 games, so 98 more games. So Connor McDavid is definitely a legendary player, and time will tell whether or not his number will get retired from the NHL, like like Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. No one can wear number 99, and no one can wear number 66. So will Connor McDavid's 97 be retired at the end of his playing days? Maybe. So the look now is to see if he's going to reach 2,000. No one has reached 2,000 except Mr. Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky has 2,857 points in the NHL. The next player was Jaromir Jagr, who played almost 300 more games than Wayne Gretzky, but he's at 1,921. So there's no one else in the 2000s. Will Connor McDavid achieve that? Well, if he continues to play at a high level, well into his late 30s, why not? He's right now 27 years old. He'll be 28 soon. And he would have to play at a really high level to reach 2,000 or into his late 30s. So we shall see. But that's Connor McDavid. So that is the news as of last week. And tell me, guys, what you think of that. Please like and subscribe. And we will see you in the next episode of UnPontificated. Bye.